Hello. How's it going? Good morning, good morning. Good morning, Pierre. Good morning, Chris. Good morning, rock and roll. How's everyone doing? Hope you guys had a great weekend. So let's go ahead and get started. I was just doing some practice stuff while I was getting warmed up. I got a small little downward channel here, and we had two pin bars bouncing off the top, and now it's testing this channel one more time. So we'll see how this early trade goes. But let's take a look and review from last week. Friday, if you guys remember where we left off, we were doing, actually, let's do this. Last week we were doing a 10 trade challenge. Does anybody remember the 10 trade challenge? So the first one that we did was the Euro New Zealand. And so I had updated that trade. Checking out the news. We don't have any news really today. We do have some FOMC stuff, but it's yellow. If you go to this calendar here on Forex Factory, they have the impact. So tomorrow you'll see that there's orange. So orange is a little more impactful. And then on March 31st, there's still really no red. So the very first big deal is the OPEC meeting, which has to do with oil prices. So that's going to be all day. So if you're trading oil on April 1st, be ready for that. And then on Friday, we have the non-farms payroll and the unemployment rate, which is a big deal for it's a big deal for the dollar. But we got to remember that there's lots of holidays. I'm surprised that the dollar is actually going to do that announcement because it's a holiday. Normally the CAD does the announcement as well, but it's a holiday. So I would expect it to probably be a lesser event because of the holiday. And actually, let's remember here that it's a holiday, and so I'm probably not going to be streaming. I'm not going to be streaming on Friday, just because of the Good Friday holiday. the markets can be a little bit stagnant, so there's really not a point to be trading. So just remember that for Friday. Good Friday, no trading room, no live YouTube that day. All right, so that's the weekly outlook. So Wednesday and actually that's Thursday. Thursday and Friday are the two big news days. Other than that, we don't really need to focus much on news. So the rest will be all price action. Let's go ahead now, and I'm going to close that out, and we'll take a look at the spreadsheet. So the very first trade we did was the Euro New Zealand. Let's take a look at the entry. So you can see we had our stop loss right here, and we had our take profit up here at 16,791. So that was the very first one. 16,791 was the take profit. So let's go ahead and do a run through on that. Let's take a look at it. So we had, let's go back to where the entry was. Our entry was right here, if you can remember, and it was 16. Our take profit was at 16. 16791. So our entry was right here, 16791. And let's go to 16791, 167. Or it's 1687, 168791, 168791. Okay, so you can see that it just barely missed. You see that just barely missed the take profit, right? Which is one of the big challenges. You can see it went to 1678, and it needed to go to 16791 right there. Actually, so it didn't miss. It hit the target right there. Okay. So that was where the target was. It was 22 pips, and the stop loss was right there at below at about 12. So we're going for a 2-to-1. And then right afterwards, it collapsed pretty heavy. And then now we collapsed again. And so if we just look at the analysis here, we have a bounce currently, a nice pin bar. And we have price moving in here like that. So we have that happening. Okay, so we're doing the 10 trades. So the first trade we have, and remember, we're doing the special money management. So let's go ahead and show you how that works. I'm going for a 1-to-2. So we're going to change. Actually, we're just going to do the live results based off of this. Instead of doing a 1-to-3, I'm going to do a 1-to-2. So there it is. The first one. So remember what we're doing on the risk side. So the first one is 1%. So now I'm going to go back into my Epic Trade tool. Okay, we're going to manage our risk. So instead of doing the 1%, we're going to do a calculation here. So we're going to do 1% risk, but we're going to add our target, which our target was 2%. So the total risk on the second trade is going to be 3%, right? So we're going to go in here. Our first risk was 1%. And then now the second one is going to be 2% plus 1. Okay. And if that doesn't make any sense, if I sound really crazy, that's because you didn't watch Friday. And so go back and watch Friday, and you'll learn all about that money management strategy. Okay, so make sure you do that. All right, go ahead. And so now I'm going to just go up to my expert advisors and my properties, and I'm going to do Epic, and I'm going to do the calculation, stop profit and calculation. of deposit. And so instead of doing 1, we're going to do 3. Okay, so we're doing 3% risk now, okay, because we won the first trade. So now what I want to do next is save this template so that every single trade I want to make sure gets the total risk. So we're going to just delete all of the charts, which I want to make sure I don't forget the pairs that I had. So let me just take a picture of that because I wanted to trade. These are the specific pairs that I wanted to trade. Okay. So we're going to take a picture of this and use it as an example. And by the way, remember, guys, that this is all for educational purposes only. Trading is risky. Don't forget that. Okay, so trading is risky and you want to be careful. So we're going to delete now all of the charts. And the reason we're doing this is because we want to make sure that it loads up at the proper risk. Because if I don't load them up new, the risk is going to be messed up. Okay, so now we're going to go to new chart. Let's go back to Euro New Zealand. So we're on a roll with Euro New Zealand. So we've got what I can say is a current uptrend. Okay, but it's actually moving down, right? It's moving down. And I think it's getting ready for a breakout, which I talked about a lot. And I timed it pretty decent on this, and it popped, but it had another leg down. So now that we have another leg down, we just broke up here. It just broke this moving. We have these 3 moving averages. So there's going to be a lot of resistance up here. So we have a potential trade up here. So let's look at it on a lower time frame. Okay, so we have a breakout happen. You see that the breakout happened where it broke this lower level. It went back and retested, and now it's moving higher. We have some resistance right up here and up here. So I'd like to see some kind of little pullback, and I'd like to see it come back down into the 682 level and then try to catch a move to the upside. So that's what I'm looking at on the Euro New Zealand. Let's go take a look at a little longer time just so you guys see it. We had a strong breakout, so I'm just trying to buy trades now. I'm trying to find pullbacks because this to me is it's a downtrend, yes. But this is a pretty powerful break and it could be a trend changer. So for right now, I'm still trying to catch some buys because of this trend line broke here on a daily and also on a weekly. Pretty powerful move. But we do have a lot of resistance along the way, so we want to be careful for that. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at that USD CAD that I'm in because I'm already in that trade. And this is right here. Good morning, Chris. Good morning, good morning. All right, so USD CAD, we have 2 pin bars on the hourly. What I was looking at on this is a daily. We have a downtrend. You can see the downtrend, right? Can you guys all see that? And it's a pretty solid downtrend. And I just tried to catch a bounce off of it. I watched the pin bars on the hourly. It popped below. If we look at a 15-minute, I drew a little tiny channel because I noticed that it was moving lower like that. So I just drew the channel. I saw there were 2 tests to the channel. And now I was looking at a breakout right here. Okay. And by the way, this actually doesn't count as my official, this doesn't count as my official 10 trades because I did this before you guys were live. Well, actually, actually, I did it after you guys were live, but I wasn't talking about it. So I'll let you guys vote. If you guys think I should count it for the 10, hit that like button. If you don't think I should count it, hit that like button. The smart ones are figuring out what's going on right now. Wait a second. He just told me to hit the like button no matter what. Yeah, you guys figured it out. Okay. Okay, Robin says to count it. So if it's a loser, though, that's an interesting situation. If it's a loser, what do I do? Do I count it? Yeah, I'll count it no matter what. The only thing is I didn't do my money management calculation for this one, but we are going to do the money management on the next one. So, so we're going to do that. Okay, so here we go. We got a breakout right here, okay? And I'm waiting for this to break out on the 1 minute. It's pulled back a little bit. You can see everything's trending up. I'm watching it, this Euro New Zealand. I'm looking for a pullback. Let's see about what it looks like on a 15-minute time frame. I'm going to base most of these trades off of a 15-minute because it gives me a little bit bigger stop loss. Okay, so we're breaking out. Let's go to the 15-minute. Let's click our levels. See how good those look. It's a little tight for me. I'd rather not be this tight, but we're going to do it. So we're going to go for the buy here. And remember, now I'm risking a little bit more because why? Because of what happened in the last one. What happened in the last one was I won. I won a trade. So now I won one, and I'm increasing my risk. Now, if we lose this, it's going to go right back down to the risk that we had before. Okay, so we got CAD, Euro New Zealand, and USD CAD on point, 2 trades. Okay. So even though I'm risking 3%, it's really only 1% because of the last trade. So hopefully that makes sense to everyone. Okay, Philip is asking about what indicator. This is the 50-period moving average is the blue line, the 150 is the green line, and the red is the 200. And this is my money management tool. It's called Epic. You can get access to it in the description if you read the description. Thank you for the question. Okay, so USD CAD and Euro New Zealand is what I have. Let's keep doing some analysis. Pound New Zealand, pound dollar. Let's go. Weekly time frame. Pound dollar has been moving down for 1, 2, 3. This is kind of down 4, 5 weeks in a row. Look at the monthly chart. We have a month of March is just kind of stagnant. You can see the last time we had a big up move. Look what happened. 3 months up here, 4 months in a range. Going back to a weekly, we're still in the range here. We've got a support level right here. Okay, we got a support level right there, and a resistance point right here. I have a trend line, a couple different trend lines to be aware of. All the moving averages are pointing up, which is telling me we're in an uptrend. We have a trend line approaching. So I think we have hit this level, but I think we could actually go back to it again because 136.80 is where this was tapped, and I think it could tap it again. Just because this trend line is here. We do also have a level here, so we're in a wedge, and this is a weekly time frame, right? We're in a wedge right here. Let's go to a daily now. Okay, so daily now has this 50-period moving average acting as support, and also this wedge. And when you go to a different time frame, sometimes the the line changes a little bit. So let me see what this looks like on a daily. So here's the actual daily line. We go back to a weekly. So that actually looks pretty good. It is on a weekly breaking out, but we can see that it actually isn't breaking out. So right now we're into this resistance zone, all of this chop here, and then this here, and then this moving average. Yes, it's an uptrend, but we recently broke a downward level. We broke this support right here, and now it's coming right back up into this support. So this is going to be pretty interesting to see if it tops out here and then heads back lower. If it does, we've got some area around 136.80 or 135.83. So we've got some downward targets here. If it breaks to the upside, we've got some room all the way back up to the top. We also have this support level up here as well. So that's what I'm looking at. Let's keep going to lower time frames. It is stronger right now and is moving up on the hourly. And so we'll want to keep that into consideration. But we also need to be aware of these strong resistance points that are headed our way. So right now, despite the fact that we got a nice uptrend here, I'm going to be wary of some of these key levels. And you can see right over here, it was really close. So I would probably just wait for and I did that a lot on Friday too. I'm like, I've got to wait. I got to wait. But that's what it is. It's being patient, letting your setup come to you, right? Let your setup come to you. And when you see it happen, just take the trade. So right here, I'm just going back to look at some of my other trades. So my Euro New Zealand stopped out already. So that was a $9.62 loss. Okay, $9.62, and we can go back and look at it. I got in on the break, but it just faked us out. If it keeps moving up, of course, we're going to be upset about that. But that's why this is for educational purposes only. But anyways, let's go back to that spreadsheet, and we're going to add trade number 2. Trade number 2 was minus 9.60, and it was the Euro New Zealand. Okay, so trade number 2, let's get it. I didn't take a picture of it, but we'll just do it right now. So really, I was only lost 1% on that trade. Only lost 1%. So now we're resetting and going back to our 1% risk because I took the loser. Okay, so we got the image. Let's add it. There we go. Okay, so now there's our total on trade 2. So we're going to do 3. Remember, this is a 10 trade challenge. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay. All right, so we got the Euro, the USD. Let's see what that's doing. So we have this one in play as well. So this is going to be our second trade, our third trade. So let's add this to the list. All right, so we got USD CAD, and that risk is back to 1%. So we go 1%. Let me add a little bit of rules here just so you guys can see. Insert one above. We are risking 2%. per trade. Or no, not 2. What am I? We're risking 1% per trade. With a risk to reward ratio of 1:2:1, which means I'm trying to get a $2 target and a $1 loss, so 2 to 1. If the trade wins, the next trade we increase the size by the total of the win plus 1%. Okay, so right now we have that. So let's keep doing the analysis so you guys can see what we're looking at. I've got USD CAD on here. Let's take a look at the hourly. It is in an upward trend, but I'm trying to catch a short. And let's take a look. There's a support level right here. So that's going to be something that I'm going to have to really consider. I'm going to have to consider that. But there's a support level, but the moving average is at the 150. It hasn't hit that in a while. And so I think that if we take out these lows, it's going to test these lows right here. I think if it hits those, it could possibly come down into our target. So I think we're sitting in good shape for our target. Let's look at the 4-hour. You can see 4-hour, it's down 4 hours in a row. The last time it did that, it was a pretty nice swing. Right down here, right where this moving average is coming up, I think we got an opportunity to get down there. So we're going to just keep this on and we'll monitor it. But right now I need to reset. Well, I don't need to reset. I need to remember that if I take another trade, I need to get my risk back to where we were at before. So that's really important. So we're going to close this out and get back. So let's do some more analysis. One of the trades I wanted to look at was the pound Canadian. Okay, we got the pound Canadian. Let's look at this. You can see that something just significant just happened on this pair. And that is that it broke a level. Okay, so we're in a breakout trade today. Today is the day of the breakout. So it was a pretty strong breakout, pretty nice. And so now I'd be looking for a pullback and trying to get in on the trade. And we're getting some pullback right now. Let's see what we have here. It's pulling back a little bit. We've got a consolidation here. And there's a support level right here. And so we also have a little, this is a 15-minute. We got a 15-minute wedge. So if we break down out of this 15-minute wedge, I would be looking for going long. So just going to take some patience, though. Watch this thing. See how it progresses. I'm not going to do what I just did on that Euro New Zealand and take it on a 1 minute. I'm going to be more patient than that. So right now, this is like a flag pattern playing out. We could try to catch a bounce off of here, maybe a bounce off of this trend line down here. And yeah, a bullish flag. That's right, Chris. Thank you. So we'll take a look at that. And since Merle is comes back often, thanks, Merle. I'll do a special analysis for you on the Euro Swiss. So let's pull it out. I haven't looked at this one in a long time. Weekly chart, big move here. The trend has broken. You see that? And what happened when it broke? It broke, retested again, and then finally it broke. And now what do we have? We've got a flag, a pennant, a consolidation on a weekly. So which way is this going to go? I don't know. We've got this happening. So it's going to break. I'm going to use my great technical analysis skills. That's going to amaze you guys. And I got distracted by a guy spamming me. So if you're going to come here, don't spam me, please. Okay, so back to my amazing analysis skills. I'm going to say this is either going to break out up or down. All right, we're either going to have an up break or down break. We have some resistance right here. Support, rather, can come back down to 188, 1088. On the upward side of things, spam is really good, Chris. It is a mystery meat, but if you put it on the stove and you fry it, you cannot beat that. Sandwiches with with some mayonnaise, good stuff. Anyhow, not all of I'm probably getting people leaving my channel now because I said that. I apologize, but it's just how I feel. Okay, we've got consolidation. So now let's go back to a daily time frame, right? So you can see that we're I've never tried it with yogurt. That's pretty cool. We've got this flag here. So I kind of like the idea of watching this break to the upside. Very similar to the USD Swiss, actually, if we'll maybe look at that later. But look for this to go up. But I'm not taking anything unless it breaks up or down on this. If we go to an hourly, we could have some moves in here. But we've got just a little bit of sideways movement for a while. Sideways, sideways, sideways. So if you want to trade some of these breakouts, you can. Just be patient, wait for analysis and see how that broke over. Definitely some range trading opportunity on it, but the big move, you got to be patient. And so again, it depends on what you're trading. I like to do the big time frames, even if I'm doing small moves, just to give me a little more understanding of what's happening. That's probably wise, Mr. Baseball. Because it's definitely not healthy, because it's like they say, it's mystery meat. But yeah, so right here, Euro Swiss, waiting for the big move to break out either direction on this one. Okay, let's go look at the Australian yen. And then after that, we're going to gold. Okay, so gold, Australian yen, big up move, big one. Bounced off of the trend line. It's a really steep trend line. The thing about trend lines like this is they can't go forever. They eventually have to have a pullback. Let's look at the last kind of big move that we had. You can see it topped out and it pulled down. We did top out a couple times, topped here and here, and then now it's just indecisive. So we could look at this. There's a little wall here. I'm thinking that we could either push higher, or if we roll over, we've got some downward targets. Where did it go last time? Well, last time it hit the moving averages. I think we could go back to the moving averages. So we have a resistance point right here. These moving averages are turning up. I think we could get right back into these trades. Let's take a look. If it breaks lower, we got a potential target down here. Let's go down to the hour, to the 4 hour, or let's do the daily first. My bad. Daily, we are currently very similar to the pound dollar. If you notice, a lot of these trades just kind of roll together. Pound yen, it's going to be hitting this level. We've got some resistance right here. So be watching for, I believe that we could get a rollover. We had a nice bounce, but if it starts seeing some topping action, some pin bars, look for a breakout, right? Because we got this level broke. You see this? So this trend line just broke. Okay. Look at this trend line. Like that. That one just broke. And so we've got a possible stopping up here, a stopping up here. And so now we have this trend line right here. So if this one breaks, we could roll over, roll back down to some of these lower targets that we were talking about. So I'm thinking that we might, right here, we got support or resistance. And if we roll down through here, I'm thinking that this might be a short trade because we have a break, but it didn't follow through. And we'll just watch this price action and see what happens with it. All right, back to my USD CAD, see if I'm still in the trade. Looks like I'm still in it. We're currently testing these lows. This bottom shelf needs to break. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. It's tested this shelf 4 times. So if this shelf goes, could accelerate us into our target pretty quick. So right now, it's pretty good. The daily move is moving down. We have, I'm just revisiting this because this is where my current trade is. Okay. With my stop loss being at 10 pips and my target being 20. Remember, we're going for a 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio. All right. So let's continue searching. I like euro dollar. And downward channel on the euro dollar. Let's go to a weekly. See what it looks like on a weekly. So on a weekly, it's pulled back right into these levels. I believe that we could get a bounce here, but on the weekly chart, we are moving lower for quite some time. But we're right into this zone. If we look to the left, there's support over here to the left. We're currently at a 200 or a 50 period moving average. We're hitting the bottom of this sliding channel to the downside. So I'm more interested in looking for longs on this. Right now we got another pin bar happening after a bounce off of this bottom. Let's look at it on a 4-hour. We have this little shelf here. I would be waiting for this thing to break. If this breaks, I would look at a long all the time. If anybody was going long here, I just believe that the longs are starting to build up here. But if it breaks to the downside, it's going to flush out all these longs. All of these people have been buying. And it's building up buyers because people are looking at this like me, and it's building up buyers and building up buyers. So if we know that that's happening, there's an opportunity for a trader to send this back down and flush all those longs out, all those buyers, because where's their stop loss at? Well, it depends on what kind of buyer they have, but most of those buyers, they're going to be putting their stop loss probably here, okay? And some of them might be putting it here. So if we have stops here and stops here, we got to remember that there's an opportunity for the price to come down in, grab all those orders, and then come down here, grab all those orders, and then move, right? So whenever you're looking at a trade, you could be like, oh, it's going to break up. And it breaks up, and what happens? It grabs all those orders because there's orders to buy, right? It grabs all those buy orders, and then it pulls down all those stop losses. It pulls all those orders, and it just keeps going, and it pulls all those orders, and then boom, it goes up with a rocket. And all of these traders, the ones that went in long here, they're like, oh man, I was right. The ones that went long down here, oh, I was right. The ones that were long right here, oh, I was right. But guess what? They lost the trade. they were right, but they lost the trade. And you want to know something? Just because you're right in analysis doesn't make money in this business. You have to be right and trade it. And that's why it's so difficult, because just being right is actually not that difficult. Like, oh yeah, it's going to go long in here. And that's really easy to do. But when it spikes and shakes everybody out, drops and shakes everybody out, and then drops again and shakes the rest, and then makes the move, you could be an analyst and say, yeah, I was right. You see that? But you're not actually trading it because you have to survive all the shakeouts. And that's what the market's really good at, right? Is getting those shakeouts and moving in the direction that it wants to move. And that's why technical analysis works. This stuff works. Oh yeah, here's a channel. It works really well. It works really well, but it doesn't matter because you got to trade it really well. That's the secret. And Bill, I just want to let you know, there's a lot of things in life that will get you with spelling, but my channel is not one of those places. If you come here, we don't really care how you spell things. I happen, and this is my channel, so I guess I get to tell you the story, but I'm not like really concerned about it. I'm a pretty good speller. Just naturally, it's just kind of like, oh, I can kind of sound words out in the English language, but I could care less about spelling. I mean, honestly, to me, it is like, it's just not something I care about. So I do have people that work for me that help me so I don't look like a total idiot when I'm writing things. They follow up behind me and make sure I do things right, because I can't ever focus on that kind of stuff. To me, it's like a total waste of time. So if I just offended you again, I'm sorry, but that's just how it is. Because I know a lot of you guys are ready to hang Bill right now. Oh man, that guy is so horrible. He misspelled it. We're going to kill him. And if you're thinking like that, trust me, I know that there's people out there, because I get emails from you guys. You guys that say, I think you're just a wonderful trader and you're so smart, but I cannot listen to a word you said because you misspelled the word Aussie. It's like, okay, dude. Sorry. Go ahead and learn from that guy who's awesome at spelling. No, I'm just having a little fun, Bill. Yeah, I get it. I actually didn't get it until you said that, but now I do. Okay, focus. So euro dollar, be ready for a shakeout, but I'm believing for a long trade. I just don't want to get shaken out, which, I got shaken out. The reason I know this is because I've been shaken out so many times. So I'd love for this just to kind of meander down here. I'd like for this 15-minute to meander down and even spike. I wouldn't even mind if it spikes, but I'm just going to be waiting for a nice, strong bust out of this area. And if you want to trade this short, the setup works, because right now we're getting a strong break to the downside. The setup's working. It's going short right here. So you could do that. I might actually see, I knew that was happening. I'm getting shaken out of my USD CAD trade because the euro's doing the exact opposite. So if you wanted to take this, that would be fine, and grab it right to the downside. But remember, I'm talking about educational purposes only. Trading is risky, but we have a nice pin bar happening right on this moving average. Price is pulled back. It's a downtrend. So this would be totally a total legitimate trade. But the reason I would prefer not to take it is because I'm overall looking for a bigger move. But let's look at our levels here. I've got my stop loss right here and my take profit right here. So if the market's going to do this in this session, if the market's going to say, okay, during this particular session, we're going here. Well, that's where we're going. And, you know, I want to trade what the session's telling me. So right here, I have a stop loss of 10 pips and a take profit of 20 pips. So that's what I'm looking at right now. And let's look at a 15-minute time frame. It's pretty solid down move. You do see the moving averages are starting to flatten out a little bit, and we have this. But that's why I like big picture, is because I'm trying to look big picture and really time it out and understand what's happening. So I think I mentioned that fake out. The fake out might happen. But then again, right now could be the fake out. And we could get a nice spike down here and everybody's coming in short and the market's then going to take everybody higher. But I'm going to be patient on this one because I already lost a trade today and I don't want to be impatient. And it looks like my USD CAD could lose. I'm on my way to halfway to the stop loss. So with that being said, I'm just going to be patient and let the market come to me. One of the things that will really help you is try to let the market come to you. Do your analysis. Thanks, Bill, for helping out. Bill gets a bonus ring. That's the reward for Bill for helping out Exical. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. All right. So remember, Wednesday's our giveaway day. We're going to do $100 in cash, but we got to get people to do the retweet. So if you're interested in participating in that, make sure you hit the like button and hit the subscribe and the notifications so you know when we're doing it, because last time we didn't get enough people to participate in order to pass out the prize money. So we need 25 people to participate, and it helps for everybody to hit that like button and subscribe so we get enough people that we can do it. And I'm hoping we can get even more and more as time goes on. Okay. Oh, and also starting this week, I'm doing a sign up for our 30-day challenge, and it's going to be a live training that I'm going to be doing. I'm really excited about that. Okay. So my USD CAD is balancing out here. We've still got some resistance to hold us in place. So trade's definitely not over. You see all these wicks here. I was just down here like literally 5 minutes ago, and I said that bottom needed to break, and it just pulled in enough orders to take me out. So I'm not out yet, but I was up about 6 pips, which is, you know, when you're up 6 pips, and it's horrible to lose. But we're doing the 10 trade challenge, so we're going to see what we can find. Australian yen. We're starting to break lower here. We've got this. If we draw this trend line, you can see it broke. Now we're in a consolidation. It's trying. Let's go to a lower time frame. If we can break below this moving average here, I think that this would be a possibility for a short. And of course, this is an uptrend, but I'm looking at kind of like a head and shoulder pattern developing right here. That's one of the things that I'm looking at, is a possibility for a head and shoulder pattern. And so if that right shoulder develops, it could develop up here. It could develop anywhere. But I'm just trying to find that specific trade. Okay. So right now, let's see what we're looking at. Let's look at gold, because I know everyone loves gold. Wow. Okay. Big move to the downside today. Big one. So let's just do some analysis on this thing. So we're going to start with a weekly chart. So weekly is pretty high up, and I'm going to draw a fib level. Okay, fib, and you can see it went into the 32.8 area on the weekly, and we have some support. We want to try to find where our most recent support is, which is 160.80. So that's where I think we're going to see some slowdown here. The price is currently moving lower. Overall, we are in quite a big uptrend. It's been moving up. I'd say it's been moving up ever since it broke this. Remember, we talk about these big levels. This level right here, you see how this works? See where it broke right here? It retested, came back, retested again. So ever since this has been an uptrend, ever since 1200. And it hasn't been perfect. It's had some big drops. This was a big drop right here. This was another big drop right here. So right now, this is a very current big drop, but we've got some consolidation in here. So let's go look at a daily. So right now we're moving lower. What do we have? Well, we've got this, right? We've got this level as a wedge. We also have this level. We got two downward pushing levels, and this one worked. It just took a while for it to break, and now that it's going, I think we're probably going to run back into this, and we'll see what happens. We've still got a lot of support. We could get a double bottom pattern, which would be interesting. If it comes down in here and it turns and we get a bottom, we get the double bottom, right? And so I know a lot of you guys watch for those double bottoms. So if you get a double bottom on gold, could be a very nice trade. Let's give an example of some double bottoms we saw. Let's go all the way back down to the downtrend. You can see we had a break lower, right? And then there was a bottom here and a double bottom. See that? And I didn't even know where this was. I just know usually you can find a double bottom when a price turns around. So we had a break lower, and then price turned, and then it turned, and this is the double bottom, 1, 2. And so we could be looking for a potential double bottom to form, something to keep our eyes on. And if we get the next double bottom, it'll break this trend line, right? So sometimes we get a move up and it's not enough momentum and not enough, an H pattern. Yeah, an H. What usually happens in an H is a double bottom though. We got the move, the H, the bomb, and then the double bottom, and then it's going to pop right back up to here, right? So let's see if this is what you're thinking for an H. We got this is the leg. We're going back to school. Here's the H here, or this. Wait. We're drawing. This is the trend line art. This is the trend line art class. Here's that. Okay, and we come back down here like this, okay, and then when it double bottoms down here, we're going to come up, and what do we have? We've got the H pattern, right? You see that H? Insert, shape, we're going to go with the circle. We're highlighting the H. Right there's the H. Okay, good call. So yeah, that's a possibility. Something to be looking for. So that's, again, we're talking about letting the market come to us. You can trade this, right? This is a great trade. I mean, it depends on your time horizon, but you can trade this, boom, short, boom here. You know, depends on your time horizon and your strategy, if you're daily or hourly or 15-minute, but I still like the market to come to me. So even if I'm just pulling in and I'm going to trade a 15-minute, I want to say, okay, that thing really collapsed, right? So if I would have been trading this, which I should have been this morning, we should have said, when I first got on live this morning, I should have said, we're all going to short gold. And the truth is that I wasn't even looking at gold because I can only look at so many things at one time. Well, you know, Linda wants us to do a W. Okay, So instead of an H, we're going to do the W. Like this. And actually, the W is probably a little more accurate. And the reason I say that is because they're not straight lines, right? The H is assuming straight lines, and those are really, really, really straight. So yeah, W is the pattern, but you guys get the idea. Straight lines are cool though. If we get it straight, we can, if it goes straight up. So really we don't know what's going to happen if it's going to be an H or W. It depends on how fast the bounce happens, right? Like right now is definitely, this is an H here because this is straight down. This is fast moving to the downside. So let me take a look at my trade. Oh, so it looks like I got stopped out. No, let's see. Yeah, I got stopped out. So we got a loser here. And so my losing trade, we're going to go add that to the spreadsheet. And let's see what we got. So now we're down. And this one was 680. All right, so we got 2 losers and 1 winner. Oh, this is a negative. Okay, so there we got it. So we're 2 out of 3, and we're going to keep working on this, and we're going to do 10 in a row and see if we can get. The key for this type of strategy, though, is for me to win 2 in a row. If I can win 1 here, I'll be right back in profitability. Right, I'll be right back in profitability if I can win 1. If I can win 2, I'll really be in good shape. So we're going to run over all that. Let's take a look and make sure we add the totals in here. We'll sum this up at the end just so we get an idea of where we're actually at. We're going to go here. All right, so we're down at 941. So if we win, we're still not going to be back in business yet, but if we get a winner, we will be. So let's take a look. Let's take a look at the charts here and see what we can find. So we got, do we want to try catch a quick bounce on gold? No, we do not. It's always tempting because I see that pin bar forming, and yeah, it really could just pop right back up here. That's the one crazy thing about gold is the moves are so fast. It could pop right back up. But again, I'm going to let the market come to me. I'm going to do my analysis and wait and see what happens. So what I would rather do is watch this pattern. And if I'm looking now at a down pattern, I'd be waiting for this to break some kind of up move. You know, we do this here. We find some consolidation, get a little bit of a trend line to develop, and then wait for that to break and then go long. And where would I be thinking about going? Right up into here where this trend line is moving down, right? Try to catch the top of this channel somewhere at the 1727 level, but wait for some kind of consolidation to happen and then wait for it to break and go long. Always be thinking, don't chase the market, try to let the market come to you. So let's go back to some of the other trades we were in. The Euro New Zealand. And so this is another possible trade. Let's look at it on the 15-minute. We broke down. I got a loser on this one, but I was right about the direction, actually. Let's take a look at it. If I would have got in here, it still was a little bit away from my take profit, but I was close. I just wasn't quite patient enough. So rather than letting the market come to me, I was trying to catch the breakout, which didn't happen. And now I ended up with a loser, right? So again, the timing is really important. So we got a channel right here. So I'd like to see this come back into here and then go long, right? Let it come to me. So today that is gold not bouncing? It bounced pretty good here, Robin. You see that big move? That's a big old bounce, right? So how would we trade this on a 1 minute? You look at these highs. We have a new high here. It's now going lower. Could go right back down and retest. If it breaks, there's two ways that I would look at it. Remember, we're waiting for the market to come to us. Wait for it to break that, then come down, and then break that other level and come up here. Okay, that's what I would be looking for on the long side. In this case, you wait for it to catch that move and then break and just follow that trend, right? It just broke that downward and take it down and then go right back down here. So if we're going to expect the trend to keep moving lower, right? Well, how do we trade that? Well, we follow the trend line. So it pops up. Anytime we get levels, we're going to look for shorts. We got a move here. Okay, maybe come up here and short. We're starting to bottom out. Maybe come back up here, short. Just use it like a sideways ladder. And every time you get any kind of pullback, and you just keep taking it short. Or on the upside, the same thing. You just draw yourself a ladder like this. And whenever you get something to break, you wait for it to pull back and you go long. Wait for it to pull back and you go long. Wait for it to pull back and you go long, which is what I was trying to do on that Euro New Zealand. Except this is the ladder's going a little bit different direction. Waiting for it to pull back, going long, right? Like this. This is the ladder that I'm trying to get to here. Wait for it to pull back. There we go. It's a little different kind of ladder. Wait for it to pull back. Wait for it to pull back. And you can do it reversely. We can go down. Okay, we're going to short this thing. Oh, we hit the ladder. Boom. So now we did it again. Hit the ladder. Boom to the short. So now what are we looking for? For it to come up here and go to the short. The only reason I'm not doing that is because I'm paying attention to this big break here, which we saw earlier on gold. It could still come back down here and create a W or H or double bottom, or could be a J, or we could get, you know, here we go, W, right? Let's show you what a W might look like. But again, we're going to want to let the market come to us. Pop up, pop down, and up, right? That's kind of what we saw back on gold when I went way back to the past, the blast to the past, when I found my double bottom, which was down here. Here's the W. See that? Let's zoom up, see if I can find it again. It's hard to find when you zoom up. But we could say it was like this. Broke out here, like this. Came down here. Came down like this. That's more of an M. I just drew an M. No, I don't know what I drew. But you can see what I'm saying. It popped up, it came down, formed the bottom, and then it moved up. Yeah, that's more like an M, the M pattern. We got the M and the W. But that's just how the markets move. They just move like that, right? So, so that's it for today. Again, guys, hit that like button for me and subscribe. And we're going to do a giveaway on Wednesday, and we're doing some live. We're going to do a live challenge, which I think everybody's going to want to see. It's going to be released on, we're going to start promoting it next Thursday. So again, everyone, I just want to thank everybody for your great participation, for hanging around. Appreciate it. I had a great weekend. Hopefully you guys did too. And I spent the weekend in the woods, so that was a lot of fun. I got a little picture here so you guys can kind of see where we were at for your interest here. We were up on top of a hill. You can see the view, and you can see we got no leaves yet, or on the trees, still leaves on the ground because it's spring. No vegetation yet. But the weather turned out to be pretty nice. So we had a really fun time. So for those of you that are interested. All right. Well, that's it, guys. And we'll see you guys next week or next Wednesday. And have a good day. Bye.